Rolling with the triple C, I'ma make them bend the knee. Rolling with the triple C, don't really count the heat.
At one time, everybody, including myself, was saying, hey, Tony Ferguson could potentially be the only dude to beat a guy like Khabib Nurmagomedov. But that fight never took place. And you know what happened? Tony kept training like crazy. He was so in love with the game and so in love with the sport that he was willing to take his body to places that were unknown.
I just hope he comes in at 100%. I don't know if he's gonna though after doing a week with David Goggins. I think it's quite stupid, but you know, if Tony thinks that that's what's gonna help him, then hats off to you, mate. I just think he's gonna be overtrained to death, and he's already 39 years of age, you know what I mean? I just don't understand why he's doing it. Tony looks like he's about to fall over and collapse, and Goggins is just talking at the camera. He keeps putting videos up, being sick. Yeah. That's not a good thing. And then Goggins is like, don't touch the sides, boy. Get your hands off.
Oof. I mean, guys, we just listened to Paddy Pimblett talking about Tony Ferguson. I mean, guys, I would almost, as being, the American hero or being a mentally strong person, being known for that, is that right for a guy like Tony Ferguson? I mean, I know this for at times. I think Tony overtrained himself. I mean, people were saying, oh, he's different. He's doing X, Y, and Z. It's like hitting poles and things like that. It's like it's like a car. If you overrun a car and you don't take care of it, you don't treat it, you don't oil it up, it's gonna break. The car's a technical organism, just as how the body is. If you don't take care of the body at being 39 years old and you think being tough and you think finding somebody that could push you, I mean, if it works out, I was like, damn, I think everybody will kind of eat their words. But a little bit of what Paddy Pimblett is actually talking about, I mean, guys, is he wrong? Paddy Pimblett, I'm not sure if he's in his early 30s, 20-something, but whatever that is Tony Ferguson is 39 years old, almost going on 50, because of what he's done through combat sports, through wrestling, through cutting weight all that time. I remember cutting weight next to him. Like, he cuts weight crazy. Like, he don't jump in the sauna. He runs, he does all that. Like, it's just, he's got his own method of doing things where I think Tony needs to save himself from himself. First of all, I think it's kudos that a guy like Goggins, David Goggins, is able to help him out. But I think it's more mental than the physical aspect of it. I mean, if this dude's running till he throws up, if this dude's doing X, Y, and Z until his legs are weak or shaking, what Tony Ferguson needs more than anything is called recovery. It's that wrestler mentality, and I get it. And kudos that you have it, but it's also your worst enemy. And I think a guy like Paddy Pimblett, the fact that he sees it is dangerous, because that's the confidence he's going to have to go in. That's the confidence Paddy Pimblett is going in there with. And with that confidence, he's going to push the pace. You know what I mean? Could Tony Ferguson go 3 rounds? 100%. But will he have that explosive power to be able to hurt a younger guy like Paddy Pimblett? What you got for me, Joe?
With Tony Ferguson's last win dating back to your card, actually, against Marlon Moraes, win or lose, do you think he should keep going, or do you think the UFC should do him a favor and cut him loose?
I mean, if you want to think of Tony's health, and I know Chel's talked about it, he's gone through murder's row. That just lets you know that, like, you becoming the undisputed world champion is those lofty goals right now. You just put them aside. It's hard for me to even tell him that he can't do it, even though I don't believe he can because of 6-fight win streak. You can't tell a man that, but it's up to Tony to write his history. And if you can't beat a guy like Paddy Pimblett, I think Tony needs to go on his own terms and talk to UFC and pretty much hang it up. At one time, everybody, including myself, was saying, hey, Tony Ferguson could potentially be the only dude to beat a guy like Khabib Nurmagomedov. But that fight never took place. And you know what happened? Tony kept training like crazy. He was so in love with the game and so in love with the sport that he was willing to take his body to places that were unknown. But at times when there's not an incentive and you don't do it right, you just beat up the car too much. You're running a car without oil. You're running a car with flat tires. You know, I don't want to seem like I'm picking on Tony, but I kind of am. But I just wish him the best, man. I think Tony has done, he's been entertainment to the UFC and into MMA because he's so different from his warm-ups to the music that he comes out to. He loves the techno stuff, but he's just taking too many punishments, and it's not even in the fight. It's in the training. Is Tony Goggins the answer?
If Paddy pulls this off, which I think he would, what do you think he should? Who do you think he should fight next?
If Paddy Pimblett pulls this off, I think Paddy's at that point where you either have to grow him and give him somebody. You got to give him somebody with a name that has a big mouth that Paddy could potentially be, because eventually Paddy's hype train's gonna come to an end. You know, he is good, he is tough, but is he that top 10 caliber fighter? Is he that top 5 caliber fighter? I mean, there's a lot of flaws. I mean, if you can't defeat a guy like, what's his name? Gordon, anyways, first name Gordon, I'm forgetting his name. Yeah, 1 second, guys. You know, it's Gordon. I know his first name's Gordon. I just don't know his last name.
Something with J. Jared Gordon.
Yeah, Jared Gordon. There you go. Jared Gordon. If you can't not beat a guy like that, you have a close fight with, and nothing against Gordon, but he's never shown anything that where he's a top contender. And in my eyes, and in a lot of people's eyes, he lost that fight. So, you know, he's not a Sean O'Malley. At least Sean has striking and a lot of good stuff. But if Paddy Pimblett wins, you just got to find somebody at 155 pounds that has a name that could, one, he could potentially beat with a name, or then two, you give him the next hottest thing and see if he pulls it through, and then maybe you give him a title shot. You know, we saw Sean go through and have a controversial win over Peter Yan, but yet he was able to fight for the title next after a very controversial win. I mean, why wouldn't they do that for a guy like Paddy Pimblett?